Steve Shenbaum here with Game On Nation, and we are in the podcast Laugh With, and in this episode, it's Laugh With Felipe Rojas. And before Felipe jumps in, I do want to give you the right introduction. So we'll talk a little bit about how we met through a Leadership Academy program, but Felipe is a former semi-pro soccer player. That's not all he is. That's not his identity. Felipe is now the head of marketing for Sarasota Paradise. We will talk about Sarasota Paradise, how he transitioned from semi-pro to being a part of the staff. And also, we're going to time this right, mention that the season starts March 7th. That's my intro. Felipe Rojas, so excited and stoked to have you on as a guest.
Yeah, thank you. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be part of this.
You make me smile because I'm a little bit older, and I love when I meet young leaders. And we met when you came into a Leadership Academy program that Aaron Watson, my colleague, and I taught, a 6-phase program in partnership with Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance. And I'm going to tell you now, we love all the folks in there. Trust me, I'm not going to pick favorites. But Aaron and I drove home after that session, and we both looked at each other and was like, wow, that Felipe jumps off the page. I think we told you that, right?
Yeah.
So I told you before we started the podcast that we do like to ask our guests, what made you laugh? But not like, give me some setup punchline joke. That's way too much pressure. But, and as I'm saying this, I realize I may not have one in my mind right now. But with Laugh With Felipe Rojas, what's something that's brought you some joy or levity or made you laugh? And it could be simple in the last couple of weeks, man.
Yeah. So every evening when I come home, I take my dog out on a walk down Benderson, and sometimes she sees a bunny, and then she's sprinting after it. And the last time this happened, she disappeared into the woods for like a good amount of time. And so I was not laughing at the time, but I would hear her barking very high pitched. And I knew that she was around the area, and I could tell she was still chasing the bunny, and that just made me laugh like really hard. And so, yeah, any time that my dog does funny things like that, it's a good time to laugh.
Perfect. And I know we talked about this before the podcast, and Felipe was thinking, I'm not sure, I've been such in focus on job mode, right? Job mode. I love that. What's the dog's name?
Rosie.
Yeah. Felipe Rojas, Rosie.
Yeah.
Rosie Rojas.
Yeah, Rosie Rojas.
I love that we give dogs last.
Yeah.
Rosie Shenbaum doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah.
Rosie Rojas. And how long have you had the dog?
Now about 4 years.
Yeah, that's great. I will try to think about my dog, Finley. Sometimes when you share a joy levity moment, it's a fire starter. So we have a chocolate lab, Finley, and she is just so funny about playing catch. Like, she'll be all in for 3 throws, and then it's done. As if the ball never existed and she's never been taught how to chase a ball. Yeah. But the first 3 throws, it's like a champion retriever. And that's it. After 3, you just, now the fourth. So the fourth, you want to go long because now you're showing off to your friends like, Finley is a retriever. And then the fourth one, she's just like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
So it just makes us laugh. So
Yeah.
Pets will make us laugh.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about our coins as well as we go further. Felipe, one of the things I want to explore, we'll go through wherever we go. Mm-hmm. We'll improv, but not in a funny performance way. We'll improv in, let's see where it goes. But the thing I want to start with is your transition from being a semi-pro soccer player to now being head of marketing for now what is a professional team, Sarasota Paradise. So tell me a little bit about that transition, and then we'll jam from there.
Yeah, so I've always lived here ever since I was 5 years old. I was born in Colombia and moved over to Sarasota with my family, and I've always wanted to play at a high level, but there was no soccer team in Sarasota. There was just no major sports team here. And so I grew up with that dream, and I would watch teams in Europe on the weekends with my friends. There was nothing here for that. But out of college, I heard that there was this team popping up, this semi-pro team. A Swedish entrepreneur by the name of Marcus Walfordson was coming here with a dream and fell in love with Sarasota, fell in love with the beauty of the area, and then named the team Sarasota Paradise. Perfect. And then I was like, I need to try out for this team. I need to play with this team.
So you had already, so it wasn't like you came out of retirement. You had played, obviously, high-level high school, and then you played college soccer, right?
Yeah, I played club soccer in college, so I didn't even play like high level college.
Can I just
soccer.
go to camera? Felipe is so humble. I'm not kidding. He'll always be like, well, Steve, make sure you say semi-pro, it wasn't pro. He played way higher than this intramural guy.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that honesty. So you played club soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played club soccer at UCF. I became the president of the club soccer team there, and it was a fun way because I at the time wasn't good enough to play D1 soccer for UCF. And so I was like, okay, I'll play club soccer, grew the culture there. And then we won sport club of the year, which was awesome. Made a lot of really, really great friends. And that really made me want to play at a high level again. And that's when Paradise kind of came about.
It's such good timing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you think about Sarasota, like, of course it should have a professional soccer team. Like, it makes no sense they didn't before. And you all are playing at Premier Sports, right?
Yeah, Premier Sports
Yeah.
Campus. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For those of us who are in this region, you should know, we've got IMG Academy, which is just an incredible facility here in Bradenton. But Premier Sports is out in Lakewood Ranch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Lakewood Ranch.
So talk to me a little bit about going from hanging up the cleats. You're playing, and you have that drive. You're still young, and then you're like, wait a second. Did they offer you the role as a head of marketing? Did someone see something in you, or are you like, hey, can I stay and stick around? What did that look like?
So when I first started playing on the team, we were in preseason and getting ready. I was coming off of an injury, and at the time, Marcus didn't really have like a marketing role set up. And even though I hadn't studied marketing, I have an engineering degree, environmental engineering.
First of all, that's so encouraging. For you engineers out there that are also environmental engineers, you can also use those skills to be relational and connect, because you'll hear in a little while how Felipe is doing some really cool stuff to get our community connected. But anyway, I did not know that. You had an engineering background.
Yeah, engineering degree, and no marketing experience really, other than personal stuff. Like, I've always loved photography. I've always loved videography. And so I had a lot of side projects that I did during that journey. But then Marcus had kind of seen a little bit of that, and he also liked me as a person and wanted to give me an opportunity, which was huge for me, because, when you're chasing a dream to play at the highest level, it's not easy to make money doing that as well. And so he gave me the opportunity of a lifetime, which was to have a job and be able to continue to play at this level.
So you were still playing. That's important. So you were still playing as a semi-pro.
Yeah.
And you were also starting to lead the marketing side of things.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I started off as a marketing coordinator while I was playing, and then I scored the first goal in the team's history, which was
We did not plan
cool.
this. Oh, I just had all this information.
Which is
And I just have a joke, like you have the GoPro on. And you didn't do that. You scored the first goal in Sarasota Paradise history.
Yeah.
That can never be broken.
No, it was a special moment, especially because I've been a local my whole life, and never having made let's say a college team or whatever. USL League 2. There's a lot of players that were playing D1 college that couldn't make that team. And so what it opened my eyes to is that the current, let's say, journey to become a professional soccer athlete, or at least a high-level soccer athlete, kind of runs mostly through college. And there's a lot of players out there that don't have necessarily that opportunity. So I was super grateful to be part of that. And then as I continued to play on the team and work in marketing, that league was a summer league. And so in the summer league, there's a lot of time and space in between. So I would go to different teams and try to make it pro before the next season, while still working the marketing. And then basically a couple years went by. The next season I got to captain the team, which was really cool. And we won a division championship that year. And then during that, I was building out the marketing department with Marcus. We had interns. We were flowing. Things were getting better, higher quality. And then the most recent year, we made the move over from Sarasota High School to Premier Sports Campus. Yeah. And that's when I was promoted to head of marketing. We had a really great season, had an average attendance of about 1,500 people.
That's fantastic.
It was wonderful. And then now we're entering our first pro year. I've kind of hung up the cleats, which has been very, very tough for sure. But when you're building something this unique and this great, you have to put your ego aside and be part of the bigger picture, which is the first and only pro sports team in Sarasota's history.
Good for you, man. I love that you were the first goal and that you acknowledge that versus overplaying the humility and not sharing that with me. This is a random question. It could be totally yes, no. As someone who just finished playing their career, do you ever have sort of dreams or visions of being on the pitch? Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's sometimes it's hard to deal with, but at the same time, life is full of, before and afters.
Yeah.
And I think trying to continue to play and trying to continue to follow this dream, whether here or somewhere else, might be closing the door on a lot of great opportunities. And so yeah, of course, I'll always have love for playing and want to be part of it. But I also love what I do and what we're building and know that it's way bigger than me.
That's so huge. And as a young person, Felipe, for you to have that discernment and wisdom is extraordinary. Because it's easier if you're 55 going, I can see a little bit of the future. You're not 55, so the fact that you have that humility is huge. I want to go back for a moment and talk about what you said earlier about not playing at UCF on the Division I team, a playing club, being the captain, but then being able to realize that you could play with those folks. Talk about that a little bit, because you mentioned the goal. You mentioned that there are some folks that are D1 that weren't even making the team.
Yeah.
And here you are. Talk a little bit about what that did for you, for your confidence as an athlete.
Yeah. It opened my eyes that anything's possible, really, and that it's about perseverance, And in my playing career, I traveled a lot trying to make it on teams. I lived in Chattanooga for 10 months trying to make their team, didn't get accepted, but lived there, showed up to every training. I was at the Villages when I had torn my hamstring and would show up, drive every day an hour to training and just sit and watch because I wanted them to know that I was part of it. And as soon as I was healthy, I wanted to get that opportunity. So my journey to playing even just at the semi-pro level was very, very difficult because I didn't necessarily have the normal background that some players have.
But do you wonder if because you didn't have that linear journey, let's call it like the D1, high level, high school D1, did you find maybe that made you hungrier? It made you more appreciative of being on the pitch?
Yeah, for sure. Both. I had something in me, right? And the perseverance, I think the consistency will trump anything, really. So just continuing to knock on doors and continuing to follow your dreams, no matter who you are or where you started, I think will over time lead to success.
Talk a little bit about the joy you have for soccer. I had you in class for 6 phases with Aaron and me teaching together. You have a good sense of humor. It's a different energy than mine, but there is something that has to be joyful and have lightness on the pitch.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk a little bit about the joy and also the improvisation of soccer, because I think that's fascinating. It also allows people to not just think of improv as for the former character actors, or
Right.
for the theater. It's improv is in sport.
Yeah. Yeah, improv is everything. It's life, and it's the decisions you make at work. It's how you interact with people. It's how you talk to somebody on a date. It's everything, and especially sport, because you're making micro decisions all the time, consistently, and you have to work with what you have, and you're trying to get to a goal, and then the way you get to that goal might be very different in different ways than you expected or you trained for, and sometimes you got to go fast, sometimes you got to go slow. Like sport is very, very aligned with what improv offers. So
What's one of the, they call it like the beautiful game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is one of the things that really stands out to you about the beautiful game? Having been someone who first was born in Colombia, right? Mm-hmm. Watching it from that lens, and then moving to Florida and seeing it from a United States lens. What is one of the things that you would say to someone who's interested in soccer? What makes it beautiful for you?
It's a beautiful sport because you can play it around the world, and it's so simple. And I think that's the reason that the sport is universal. I've when I traveled to Europe with 3 of my friends, we brought a soccer ball everywhere we went, and it really I can tell you from Barcelona to Rome to Paris, wherever it was, we took out a soccer ball. Suddenly people were coming out of the woodworks and they wanted to get involved. They wanted to play. They wanted to keep the ball in the air. And you can't really do that with any other sport. And so that's what I love so much about it. It does unite people. It does bring joy. It builds community. It's great.
You're so right, because it's like FIFA's coming up in 2028, and it is so universal.
Yeah.
It's hard to, I'm just using this example, it's hard to like roll out with 3 friends, especially my age, and be like, hey, we're going to set up a volleyball court. Like it's just, you need more stuff. You need a net, you need a thigh, you don't need the rules. You're right. Just take the ball and start kicking it. And just tell everyone except for the goalie, don't use your hands, right?
Yeah.
Is that pretty much, como se dice, don't use your hands in Espanol.
No usas tus manos.
Don't use your hands, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, I'm going to get controversial, but I'm kind of kidding. Okay, but I'm going to get controversial, right?
Okay.
I'm going to look at camera. Bear with me. Felipe, you're head of marketing. I'm sure you have an influential voice in the Sarasota Paradise. With soccer, how do you feel when we've got those flop injuries and the person looks like they're about to get their leg amputated, and then they spray water and get up and run back around? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now Felipe's mad. He's just, I'm done with this podcast.
No.
You told me you wouldn't go there. No, but on all jokes aside, there's a flamboyance to soccer. There's rules. But where does that sit with you? And is that something that is as predominant now in your league?
No, it's changed a lot around the world. There's now a lot of rules against that. Like if there's a clear flop or something, you get a yellow card. Now there's VAR, which is like video replay, basically, that didn't exist in soccer before.
That's accountability. Because now the person's thinking, okay, no one touched me.
Yeah.
I'm going to act like I'm dying.
Yeah.
The problem is they're going to have this on video.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's VAR.
Yep.
Okay. So that made, and you think that's sort of, I'm sure it's reduced some of the egregious flops.
Yeah, 100%. Because now you get penalized if you do that, and then if there's really a foul, then the referee's going to go look at the video camera and see if that's true, and if not, you get penalized. You could get a red card, and then you won't be able to play. So, yeah. So it's no, the players don't like it, coaches don't like it, referees don't like it, but it depends what team you're on. Are you trying to waste time?
What was your worst flop? I'm sorry. What was your Felipe?
I remember this.
We're not filming. Oh, we're not filming this. We're not recording this. Worst flop, and we'll edit this out, Katie. What do you got?
When I was like 15, I was playing for a local club called FC Sarasota, and I did have a pretty bad flop, and it was pretty obvious, and the referee gave me a yellow card, and it was the only time I've gotten a yellow card for flopping.
Consequences.
Yes.
In the midst of the flop, were you like, oh, I overplayed this?
Yeah, I was like, okay, he didn't touch me. I don't know why I did this. And we're winning.
You're ahead.
Yeah.
No one touched you. But there's a lot of endorphins going on. You're in the middle of the competition.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And the referee totally called you out on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I love that you remember that story.
Yeah.
But that's part of what we talk about laugh with. Sometimes the laughter can come from just remembering a funny moment where you were 15 years old.
Yeah.
That's so good. Hey, I do want to acknowledge that I have a scarf. I've had this the entire podcast. This is something you gave me, which I gave to my daughter, Bailey, who's 11, who's loving soccer. And by the way, I'm going to shout out, we're going to hopefully time code this so this podcast gets released in conjunction with March 7th. Sarasota Paradise opens up their season. Yep. And if you aren't following this man, Felipe is doing a great job personally, but also through Sarasota Paradise to market the Sarasota Paradise and get people out there. But I love this scarf, this Sarasota Paradise scarf. I wanted to ask you 2 questions. One is, when you joined as head of marketing, was the branding, the colors, was that all in play? Did you kind of inherit that? Or what kind of say did you have in the overall brand kit for Sarasota Paradise now that they're a soccer team?
No, I inherited it.
Awesome.
It was created by Marcus and his creative director Liam,
Nice.
and he built the most beautiful brand. It's really perfect and a testament to what we love about this area, and that everybody describes Sarasota as paradise. So I have the privilege of being able to work with an awesome brand and kind of make decisions. On some of the look on socials and everything like that. But overall, it's an easy brand to work with.
You do such a great job. I'm going to totally surge the marketing. I'm going to sound like my mom when she used to say to me as an actor, honey, you should be on Friends. Like, it's not that easy, right? Like, you should be on Seinfeld. I'm like, Mom, it takes a process. Is there any chance, you have no idea where I'm going with this, is there any chance that at some point in the next couple of years, when we fly into Sarasota Airport, there could be some kind of Sarasota Paradise promotion at SRQ Airport? Is that something that is reasonable?
Like very likely, yes.
Let's go. I would love that because it's like our hometown airport. It's a great airport, and I would just love to fly in when I come home from trips and be like Sarasota Paradise, and then I get a selfie opportunity.
Absolutely. No, that's where we're heading, and it takes time. Yeah. This is our first pro season, but awareness is out there. People know about the team now, and people are coming to the games. And now this first pro season, this home opener, we're gonna sell out. So it's gonna be a fun time.
I better get my tickets now, brother.
You should.
I know some people.
Yeah, I would get your tickets now.
Head of marketing's telling me, dude, I can't do you a solid, man. Just get the tickets. Last couple questions, but I want to talk about you. Joining Leadership Academy, because the whole group is phenomenal. We have about 22 people, emerging and established leaders. Pointed question would be, what did you expect going into the leadership? It's a 6-phase program we teach at Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance in partnership at Benderson Rowing Tower. What did you expect? And I'm not looking for a promotion. I'm curious. What did you expect, and what did you get? What maybe one thing you got out of it? And you don't have to make this into a commercial.
No, well, I didn't really know what to expect. I wasn't really read into like what it was.
Wow,
initially.
That's even wilder. So your boss, Mark, right?
Marcus. Yep.
Marcus said, "Hey, Felipe, I want you to." Well, first of all, kudos to Marcus for pouring into you and investing in your future. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. He got me into it. I didn't really know what to expect, but I came out of it definitely different. I think the biggest thing that I got from it was, accept others for who they are, and then that will help you accept you for who you are, and then you can show up in the world in a better, more confident way. And there's a multitude of other things that I got from it, like just being able to improvise in your daily life and get to a place that you want to get to through those many happenings in life with other people. So
I really awesome. Appreciate you saying that, because you mentioned engineer background, but now you're in marketing, former actor. Here you are, former elite soccer player. We're always improving, and I love that you said that, because I just passionate about the whole Game On team, and improv should not be exclusive to theater. It should be open and accessible to everyone, because we're always improving. Another thing that's interesting to me, Felipe, is what you're doing in the community. And it is directly or indirectly related to Sarasota Paradise. Talk a little bit about you starting this run club. And I can tell there's a theme with you starting your being a part of your club team, but also being the head of that program, and then being the captain of your semi-pro Sarasota Paradise Run Club. How did that come about, and what are you getting out of it? Yeah. Or what are they getting out of it?
Yeah. So a while ago, we were thinking of ways to engage a younger community to eventually, get them to our games, right? And I had started running at the time because soccer was over for me, so I needed something else to compete in. And I met a lot of great people through running, and I was almost amazed by how big my community got in a matter of weeks, just from running. And so then I talked to my friend Alex Woodsworth, and he's very involved in the running community, and we saw that Lakewood Ranch didn't really have a running community, that our office is like 2 minutes away from Waterside, and we said let's start a run club for all walks of life to really bring the community together behind health and fitness. And it's really aligned with Sarasota Paradise's one of their visions, which is to bring people together. And that was what it was, and it allows a lot of people to kind of have this thing every week to look forward to.
I love it. And you talked about it could be different abilities, right?
Yeah.
You could have the marathoner. You could have the person who's like, I'm not really a runner, but maybe I'll jog.
Yeah.
Yeah. First time you did it, how many people showed up?
So it was the first time. It was surprising. We had like 25.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, and now we're getting like 60 runners a week, which is really cool.
And they're creating relationships and connections. It could be business. It could be personal. It could just be young people getting to know one another in a I love that, in a healthy environment versus, being busy and then where do I meet others?
100%. And Sarasota for a while was a bit of a retirement community, and it's gotten so much younger over the last few years. So the Run Club has really kind of been a magnet for those people. And they're like, oh, there's a lot of people this age, and then at the same time, it's a bridge between all the different demographics as well. We have kids that are like 10 years old coming out to runs with their dad. So it really has become kind of what we wanted it to be, and it's been a really fun thing. And you should, I don't know why you haven't been there.
I knew it, Felipe. I knew it. He was like, he's going to do it. So literally, as my 14-year-old daughter says, literally, Felipe has texted me and you've said, Steve, and you've done it great. You've like, hey, come on out, man. Let's do this. Let's, you even talked about maybe doing a quick little game on hit, maybe an exercise and encouragement, and off we go. And I promise you, I'm going on camera here. I promise you that will happen in the next 11 years. I'm kidding. I promise you it'll happen in the next couple weeks as soon as I stop traveling so much. But I love that because it connects what Game On does and what Sarasota Paradise does. And I think what we're all trying to do, which is create connection. Bridge the gap. So I'm going to land the plane, but you're going to land it. Actually, I'm going to tee you up. So, dude, thank you, brother, so much for just what you're doing for not just your age group, but like you mentioned, the 10-year-old and the mother and father who's coming in. It's bridging the gap. And my question to you, what would you share as not some epic, like wild, revelatory nugget, but just maybe a good to do, a practical good to do for people that are transitioning from, your transition was semi-pro soccer to being head of marketing, but we're always transitioning. What would be, say, a nugget that you'd give to someone who's going from one sort of focus to another?
Yeah, I think that life is limitless to your vision, really, and that if you are in a period of transition and you want to get to this point B, you should go for it, and you might end up in a very different place. But for me, I was trying to play pro soccer my entire life. I never got there. But what did come about it was being able to work for the first pro soccer team in my city's history, the place that I've called home. So sometimes in the journey to that other place that you're transitioning to, you might not get there, but you'll probably end up somewhere really, really cool.
That's so good. From the young generation, I received that knowledge. I was going to say wisdom, but as you get older in age, you get the wisdom, but you have knowledge, and that's huge. And you're right. I'm someone who thought they were going to have their own sitcom for 11 years running and go that route. And that goal was not, you'd say, played out, but because that door closed, another opened, and here I am with Felipe Rojas, the father of Rosie Rojas, who chases bunnies, not you, the dog. Hey, couple shout outs, and thank you, Felipe. March 7th, Sarasota Paradise kicks off their new season. Get tickets now. That's literally, I'm not saying like tickets are going. Tickets are going.
Yep.
Head of marketing told me that.
Yep.
I need 4.
We'll make it happen.
Come on, man.
We'll make it happen.
And I also want to give a plug to Leadership Academy, and it's where we met. And Felipe, you came in as a 6-part series, and we usually roll that out in conjunction with Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance around that September, October time period. I really appreciated your trust in going in, kind of not knowing what you're doing. And the whole group were just jumped off the page, but you were so incredible. So thank you, brother, so much for what you're doing, and doing it in, I love what you said, your home city. Let's kind of finish with that. What does that mean for you to have that in your home city, to be a part of this movement?
Yeah, I'm extremely grateful. This is a really big moment for the city, and having a pro soccer team here to kind of unify the community is a really special moment. I'm just grateful to be part of it in whatever way, I end up being part of it. So
I love it. Felipe Rojas, the first goal at Sarasota Paradise history, and now head of marketing. That's Laugh With Felipe Rojas. Thank you so much for joining us. And Felipe, thank you for all you're doing. I can't wait to keep doing work with you, man.
Thank you.
I love it. And please check out the podcast on the links available up there, over there, down there. You can find it, I'm sure, much better than I can. But I appreciate you joining us. Laugh With Felipe Rojas. I'm Steve Shenbaum, and that's it. That's a wrap. Well done, my friend.